Good morning to everyone. It's a very warm welcome on this World Bamboo Day 2020 and for this cultural program. This is myself Ratna. I am welcoming all the eminent speakers and participants to this virtual Bamboo Cultural Festival Fest 2020, which is celebrating the World Bamboo Day. We are now going to be just starting this program with the national anthem playing. So I request everyone to kindly stand up for the national anthem, please.
जनगण मन अधिनायक पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल तब शुभ नामे तब जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे.
Thank you. I once again welcome everyone, all the speakers and participants, and for the virtual Bamboo Cultural Fest 2020, which is organized by Bamboo Society of India Karnataka chapter and World Bamboo Organization with the Center for Green Building Materials and Technology and Aditya Academy of Architecture and Design, AAAD. This program is now being inaugurated by planting of bamboo saplings by renowned environmentalist Dr. Yellappa Reddy, along with Professor Architect Jaisim K. Rao. Now I request Dr. Reddy sir and Jaisim sir to please plant the saplings and inaugurate this fest.
Ladies. Come. Put some more.
The plantation is just being now done.
Problem. Next bamboo. Simana, the beam of bamboo. Now we are planting beam of bamboo. This is the world's best oxygen generator. Minister, sir. You need oxygen. Come. Bara, nimgalge bekkadalla, nimgal hidira, navillo manipura ide. This is the best oxygen generator in the world. World's best bamboo. That's why it is named as Bhima. Bhima is Vaiputra. Bhima is a Vaiputra, so it has been named as Bhima. This is the world's best oxygen generator. That is called sea crop. That is called sea crop means they will absorb more of oxygen, carbon dioxide, and release oxygen. That's why I don't sleep at my house. There is so much oxygen. Third one, sir. Idu ಒಂದು Bambusa tulda. So this is called Bambusa tulda. both the things, whatever we have planted,
Hmm.
are called sympodial.
Sympodial.
Sympodial means they will grow in clusters.
Okay.
This is monopodial. Mono means they will not grow in clusters. They separate themselves little bit away and grow.
Good.
That is called sympodial
Hmm.
propagation. This is called monopodial propagation. So monopodial means
Single.
ಅದು ಒಟ್ಟೊಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಬರ್ತದೆ.
Okay.
It will spread very well. Clump on it. One is big.
Go tall. 40
40
feet.
70 feet.
40, 70, yes. Minimum.
This also spread. This also.
The one you have seen in my office, no?
You can control it. ನೀರ್ ತಗೊಂಬರ. They are watering to me.
Yeah. Now both at both
Watering
sides,
going to be,
the bamboo
now
plantation.
watering is going to happen, little watering for all the 3 plants.
Yes, sir.
ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಡು ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಹಾಕ್ರಿ ಬಿಡು ತೆಗಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ತೆಗಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಬೇಡ.
Hey, Batuji. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Ratna.
Morning, sir. Morning.
How are
sir.
you?
Yeah, fine, sir.
Nice to see you.
ಸಾಕು ಆಮೇಲೆ ಹಾಕ್ತೀನಿ. ಆ ಮರ ಹಾಕು. ಭೀಮಾಗ ಹಾಕು.
Bansalji, everything has become virtual.
We are waiting for the day marriage and honeymoon would also be virtual.
हो सकता है.
All of you are here. Come. Put some water on this plant. Come, Gitch. You've been waiting for you.
No, I did.
Come, beg. Geeta is also here, Neelam. She's here.
Yeah.
Come faster.
Hello, ma'am.
Come, we can't close.
Hello,
She's there.
ma'am.
She's
Okay.
hello to you.
Hello, Geeta, ma'am.
Neelam saying hello to you.
Hello.
Go.
Bani.
Go. Finish it all.
You are watering bamboo.
We have all the young senior members
Yes.
with so much of enthusiasm.
Where is this location? This planting location?
The planting location, Suvidar Retirement Village.
Suvidar Retirement Village.
Yeah.
Yeah, where Jason
okay.
sir lives.
And all the big brains, they are retiring there.
Yeah. Very nice place with a lot of greenery.
Right. Okay. So it is away from Bangalore.
Good morning, Ganesh sir, and good morning to everybody.
Hello. Yes.
Good morning.
Morning, sir.
Good morning. All fine, thank you. ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ನೀರು ಬೇಡ ಇವಾಗ. Okay, ma. Done. Planting over, watering over.
It's so nice to see that bamboo on World Bamboo Day,
Yeah.
bamboo plantation has happened.
All come.
How? Not but how?
Thank you, sirs. Thank you, sirs, for the inaugurating this 2-day celebrations
Yes,
by planting of bamboo saplings and set the tone for this program.
Yes.
Now, any program that we will be start with an invocation is
Okay.
part of our Indian culture. And now we will be going to hear the auspicious invocation by Dr. Ansuya Kulkarni and her team on Anklang, a bamboo musical instrument.
Okay.
A brief about this Anklang. This is an Indonesian bamboo instrument which is specially designed and adopted by Dr. Ansuya Kulkarni for Carnatic music. She's an exponent in playing Anklang, and she also has trained number of students to play this instrument. Madam holds the rare distinction of possessing over 300 musical instruments that she has very carefully and painstakingly collected since the last few decades. Now over to Dr. Ansuya ma'am to learn more about her musical journey. Over to ma'am now.
Each one is in a different.
ಭಾಗ್ಯಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀ ಬಾರಮ್ಮ ನಮ್ಮಮ್ಮ ನೀ ಸೌಭಾಗ್ಯ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀ ಬಾರಮ್ಮ ನಮ್ಮಮ್ಮ ನೀ ಸೌಭಾಗ್ಯ
You are the director, sir.
Song from India, Tilala Mridangani.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for an excellent invocation on this bamboo musical instrument. Even having it Bhagyada Lakshmi Varama on Friday is also very, very auspicious. Thank you so much. I now request Professor Architect Jaisim K. Rao to introduce the theme of Bamboo Cultural Fest 2020. Professor Jaisim is a Madras Christian College School alumni and completed his university education in architecture in 1966. He started his career with an architectural firm of L.M. Chitale and Sons Madras, and with an inspiration but Mr. Ayn Rand's novel, The Fountainhead, he started an architectural practice under the name Jaisim Fountainhead in 1970, long back. He has more than 4 decades of experience and is the recipient of several awards in architectural, civil, and structural engineering. Now over to Jaisim Rao, Executive Director, Bamboo Society of India, Karnataka chapter, and Advisory Committee member, CGBMT, to hear about the theme of the Bamboo Cultural Fest 2020. Over to you, sir.
Namaskar, namaskar to all of you in the World Heritage of Bamboo today. And thank you for this great introduction, making me sit next to a phenomenal environment next to me and these wonderful people who just put the day open. I call the bamboo as one of the most fascinating materials, not just in history, but in the future. We were doing a lot of investigations of what is happening. I will now regulate myself to the youngsters. So what is happening is bamboo is not just a tree or a plant or a grass. It is a phenomenal material. It's an element which only imagination can stop you. If I can use the bamboo right from the foundation to the last to make my juice and my fruit and my but it's an unbelievable element. The other factor I'm concentrating towards is if in India we can grow what they're growing in Indonesia, Australia, and the Southeast Asia, and some parts of China, if we can grow that in India, we will literally replace many of the materials, not because we have to replace them, but we can show that we can build what is called anti-magnetic structures, which will be very healthy and very nice to live. If I could afford to get such bamboo, I would really build many of these cottages in that bamboo type near to this. Nothing happens to it even if you put it in water. One thing is, it is a very clever material. Unless you know how to look after it in the beginning and treat it, it will also treat you badly. Because I've had some very serious experiences of building collapses because of not the bamboo's fault, because of our fault not understanding the material. It took me, that's where I like Neelam putting me on this job, putting this, learned a lot through this, through the Bamboo Society. Now, I'm just going to tell you one more point. If you look at the bamboo stock and if you start with the thing, you will find in it, trunks and trunks, spaces and spaces of where its growth, and you can't even limit its growth. And unlike other plants, you can regenerate it very fast, very easy. and you can also cure it. Plus, you can keep the guts growing wider and wider to a tremendous length. I've also tried one thing, taking this bamboo and injecting it with all sorts of other material inside, and I found the strength of bamboo, if you comparative analysis of the tensile and structural strength is much more than even a tubular steel. It's unbelievable that happens to it. I wish this association a great future, and I'm glad bamboo will have a phenomenal future to come with it, and it will be what I call a regenerative process of looking at a material beyond things. And I now thank you all for inviting me to this great plantation for the one person with me here, and let's hear from them. Thank you very much for the great event, and I wish you all a great run. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for an excellent and fabulous speech about the bamboo treatment, and also about if the treatment has been given on time, and how it's just going to be helpful for the mankind for on a longer way. Thanks a lot, sir. Now, I request architect Neelam Manjunath to introduce Dr. Yellappa Reddy, our chief guest, and environmentalist, for the inaugural address of this festival. Ma'am.
Unmute.
Neelam, ma'am.
Unmute yourself, ma'am.
Yeah. I'm extremely, honored to introduce our chief guest, Dr. Yellappa Reddy. I have been a fan of his work for a very long time. Dr. Yellappa Reddy, sir, is a graduate in agricultural science and a postgraduate in soil science, a member of the Indian Forestry Services, and has 4 decades of service in the IFS in Karnataka. He served as administrator of forests for 20 years and in the research wing of the Forestry Services for 10 years, and has also held the post of Chief Conservator Forest. He retired as a secretary, Department of Ecology and Environment, Government of Karnataka. And during his tenure as Conservator of Forest and later as a Secretary, Government of Karnataka, Department of Ecology, Environment and Forests, he worked extensively for restoration and protection of lakes and rivers of the state. He also initiated an action plan for preventing pollution of lakes and riverine ecosystems. Dr. Reddy's area of interest was conservation of natural forests and protection of endangered animals and plants of Western Ghats, in which bamboo has a very special place in his heart, as he always keeps on repeating about it. And Western Ghats are a treasure trove of different various species which are found in the country, and it is a biodiversity hotspot. He has developed innovative nursery techniques, implemented innovative eco-restoration technologies, and biostrategies, especially for most degraded areas of Western Ghats. Over to our chief guest, Dr. Yellappa Reddy, sir, a recipient of Indira Priyadarshini Award for his achievements in the field of forestry, for an inaugural address. Over to you, sir.
Namaste. Thank you very much for an excellent event. Very meaningfully, you have structured the whole program. The prayer, Bhagyada Lakshmi Baramma. Bamboo is really Bhagyada Lakshmi. Lakshmi as a food, Lakshmi as a shelter, Lakshmi as an oxygen generator. Lakshmi means it provides habitat for Vigneshwara, Ganesha, elephant. Excellent food for elephants. The only for elephants that is of brainy part of Ganesha, that is the elephant. So the Professor Jaisim, in his introduction of the topic, he covered very vast areas within 5 minutes about the potential of bamboo. So in my opinion, probably I may be wrong, I don't know, this is the only species recognized internationally, and Bamboo Day has been performed No other species have given this much of importance at global level. So it belongs to a common family called grass family. It is a grass family. So entire world depends upon the grass family for the food. Sugarcane to grains to paddy to wheat to everything. So the God is extremely kind to give us all these plants with perfect genetic composition, region-specific genetic compositions. So Professor Jaisim was telling about bambusa brandisea, a huge bamboo to grow up to this size. It can be converted into a beautiful column up to 70, 80 feet. In multiple levels, this can be converted into a beautiful column. And inside we can put certain things to provide stability. So like that, our tribals, because I served in the tribal area, Karnataka state, on their buildings. And they beautifully, artistically, they built it, their huts so beautifully. Externally, it looks not very artistic or necessary, but inside, as you go, you will make a beautiful wall, bamboo structured walls with clay and the dung and the urine, and then it is so clean and hygienic. Professor Iskar Ramchandra Rao, myself, when we went to one of the tribal areas, he peeped into the tribal hut and was surprised to see the hygiene, the kitchen, the puja room, everything, and the way they have cleaned their vessels, virtually shining. It is a surprise visit, it's not a planned visit. When he peeped in there, he has seen no temple is inferior than a tribal hut. Everything is so beautifully structured. Only material is dung, urine, clay, bamboo. Bamboo roof, bamboo wall, bamboo partitions. So why not? Why we are unnecessarily creating massive like structures by damaging the Mother Earth, and we are wounding the Mother Earth, taking out iron, taking out uh, so many things for cement, for steel, for all kinds of things, and granite, all kinds of things. So the Neelam Manjunath and our team are doing a great job in our country. And in my opinion, as a forester, as Professor Jaisim has mentioned in his introduction of the bamboo versatility, the versatility of the bamboo, right from rhizomes, are edible. But the thing is, you have to properly treat it. And also, they will put certain food material inside for granary, storage of the grains. And one thing is, you have to use that semicarpus anacordium resin to give a wash, to give a paint. Then it is anti, no insects can get it. So this traditional knowledge has to be integrated with the so-called development or so-called what we call smart cities, smart villages. Everything smart, we say that, but nothing smart with everything is ugly. So many ugly things will bring from all over the world, which is non-degradable things, and integrate there as a smart. So there is no smartness there of understanding the nature. The moment you include these ugly things there, and the entire Mother Earth and ocean is filled with all kinds of ugly things. Our rivers are filled with ugly things. Our houses are filled with ugly things, and highly unhygienic things. And this burden is increasing. But here, every part, as he said that, it has got ability to withstand. Every bamboo interact with light, interact with thunder, interact with wind, interact with everything, and injects in their DNA to withstand any amount of external pressures and biotic pressures and climatic pressures. So all these things, built in. So India is one of the richest country with varied biodiversity. varied site conditions. So only recently the government of India started bamboo machine investing some money. Very unfortunate. In 1960, when bamboo flowered, we consulted some foreign consultant. He came here, advised our government, and to introduce eucalyptus everywhere at the cost of bamboo. Manorama Saur has written a beautiful PhD thesis questioning the wisdom of the FAO, Food and Agriculture Organization, the government of India, that is called the introduction of eucalyptus in place of bamboo. That is the biggest ecological blunder government of India has committed. FAO also later on said that, and then our own Bamboo Research Institute and the forest officers also didn't have courage to question that introduction. And with the result, natural forest, natural ecosystems, and bamboo habitats have been destroyed by introducing eucalyptus. So I request Neela Manjunath to get this book of Manorama Saur, read that book. That book tells the story of the bamboo, story of the eucalyptus, story of the pollution, story of polluting our rivers, and so many things. So it is a biggest ecological blend we have committed. So I am very, very happy to this occasion, and my team, Shivalingu, all these people within 24 hours, they made an excellent arrangements here. And Uday Kumar also immediately find time to come and spend time. And suddenly, some very eminent ladies, like Geeta Jaisim came, and some other senior ladies came here, participated in this program. Uday Kumar is highly helped us in organizing this event. Once again, I am thankful to Neela Manjunath and our team for organizing this excellent. You should take these things forward. We are behind. 1 second. This shirt is bamboo. Correct.
Oh, wow.
All shirt is made of bamboo.
Okay. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you, ma.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. We will take it forward, sir. You have to be behind us. That's all for support. We'll look forward to your support. Yeah.
And take a wonderful time. Thanks a lot. Thanks to all. ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಒಂದು ಮುಖ ತೋರಿಸ್ಬಿಡು. ಮತ್ತೆ unmask ಮಾಡು. This is our team.
Okay. Uday sir is there. Uday also is there. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Hello. Yeah. Good. Hello.
Thank you, Dr. Reddy sir, for your excellent speech on the ecological restoration and the role of bamboo, especially in this area. That's from your rich experience of working in the field for the last 4 decades, more than 4 decades. And thank you so much. And also a lot of learnings also out of that book. And then ma'am is also now ensured that whereas this is going to be like taking up, and then we will be taking your support in like doing this work in further years. Now I request Shri Arun Kumar Bansalji, retired from Indian Forest Services, for a keynote address on bamboo in our culture, and followed by a brief presentation. As Bansal sir is an Orissa cadre 1975 batch of IFS, served as Additional Secretary General of Forest and the Forest Conservation area. As Additional DG, he was entrusted with all aspects of forest and development of forest policies in the country, which includes the evaluation of forest policy and legal framework and international collaborations. A special advisor for INBAR and member in several committees, including Biodiversity Authority India and IPRITI. Sir is the chairman of committee constituted by MOEF and CC to review the existing guidelines, rules, and judicial interpretations on the Forest Conservation Act 1980. He is the chairperson of Standard Development Group of NCCF NWFP standards. This is being developed by the Network for the Certification and Conservator of Forest, that's India. Now over to Sri Bansalji for a keynote address on bamboo in our cultures. Sir, please.
Thank you, Ratna. Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Am I audible?
Yes.
At the outset, I like to thank the organizers, the Bamboo Society of India, the Karnataka chapter, the CGBMT, particularly Mrs. Neelam Manjunath, the Aditya Academy of Architecture Design, for giving me this opportunity to share my thoughts on bamboo. And I also like to place for my thanks to Ms. Ratna for a nice presentation, my nice introduction of me. In fact, can somebody start the presentation?
Yes,
My,
that,
in fact, my association with bamboo started way back in 1979 as a divisional forest officer in Odisha, where the main work relating to bamboo was the supply of bamboo to Orient paper mills and to artisans in the Sambalpur region of Odisha, which is very much known for its bamboo craft, as also for the bamboo shoots, curdy, which is a local food. It is a part of Odia cuisine. And then subsequently, I got association with bamboo as director deputy when I joined as director in 1979, 1997 to 2003. That is where I got more interested in bamboo and its potential, and the association with bamboo is continuing. That is where I get to meet Neelam as an architect, and I am happy to see that she has grown leaf bamboo, and not only she has grown herself, she is also promoting bamboo much more than any other architect is doing in the country. Uh, and currently associated in my present avatar as the chairperson of Non-Wood Forest Product Standard Development Group. We are developing standard for certification standards for non-wood forest products use bamboo, and I think in about 6 months' time, the certification standards will be available. They are very much Indian certification standards, which will be internationally benchmarked and would be accepted globally and are being developed through the process of a multi-stakeholder consultation. Next slide, please. Now, as you know, bamboo is a wonder grass. It has been told as a phenomenal material by the speakers before me, particularly the chief guest. It is known to be faster growing than any other faster growing tree species in the world. It yields definitely when it grows faster, it also yields faster. And the good part is it occurs extensively in the natural forest, not only in India but many other countries, and is also eminently suitable for afforestation of degraded land. We have a whole lot of them, and a large number of people are planting them in homestead and other land. It is known that around people of the world use bamboo in some or other way, and about 1 million people live in houses made using bamboo in some or other form. And bamboo is essentially a nature-made structural material. It is a pole which has got a very high modulus of elasticity and has a very high tensile strength. It is known to weight by weight. It is known to be stronger than steel. Mark my word, weight by weight. Although the bamboo has density is quite where steel has a density of 13, bamboo has a density of 0.5 and 0.6. And laminated bamboo, when you make laminated bamboo from bamboo strips, it has been found to be as good an alternative to teak wood and many other wood species. Next one, please. This is the global distribution of bamboo. There are about 1,000, more than 1,250 species of known world, and about 25% of total biomass in the tropics. 10% of the total biomass in tropics is comprised of bamboo, and roughly 20% of the total biomass in subtropic comprised of bamboo. Next one, please. This is the bamboo resources of Unisa, and center is the distribution map of bamboo species, which I have recently procured from Forest Survey of India. There are 16, 17 species they are surveying as a part of National Forest Inventory. And bamboo is home to almost about 45% of the world's bamboo in the forest, next only to China. And The total bamboo area, bamboo forest area is about 16 million hectares in the country, out of which 67% are clump farming, that is the sympodial, which was told in the while the bamboo was being planted, and 33% in non-clump farming. And there are several states where the bamboo is found in abundance, particularly all the states in northeastern, then Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Odisha, Karnataka, and Andhra Pradesh, major bamboo growing states in the world. However, the production of bamboo from the forest is declining over the year. This is primarily because of the fact that bamboo forests in our country are being managed to produce raw material for paper industry. Unfortunately or fortunately, the paper industry has now switched over to wood. Therefore, their demand for bamboo has gone down, and so is the production from the country forest. And also, a large area of forest, bamboo growing forests, have also been recognized under the community forest as well as under PISA. Therefore, the production of bamboo from forest areas are declining gradually, but there are more and more production from the private. And recently, although there are 100 plus species found in India, uh, the National Bamboo Mission has recently zeroed into 10 species which are found to be of commercial importance. Next one, please. Now, these are the many phases of bamboo. The bamboo which are traditionally used in handicrafts and paper. Bamboo can be used as wood. As I said, bamboo can be used as a steel substitution because it is stronger than steel. In many uses, including housing and structure purposes, bamboo can also be eaten. Bamboo shoots are eaten in many parts of the world, in fact. And now we have bamboo vinegar, bamboo juice, as well as bamboo wine and beers made out of bamboo. Bamboo is a very good material when converted to charcoal and activated carbon for air and water purification. Bamboo is also used in medicine. Bunch lotion is a typical product which is found in the internodal portions. The siliceous metal which is found in bamboo is used in medicines, and bamboo is also fuel. So there are n number of uses. In fact, there are more than 1,000 uses of bamboo which has been recorded. Next one, please. The next slide shows some of the traditional uses of bamboo. These are some pictures, and in the center you see you had a Lord Krishna's flute in the center, which is made out of bamboo, and number of other applications. Bamboo can be used for dance in the Nagaland, bamboo in housing, bamboo in horticulture and agriculture sector, bamboo in agriculture. Bamboo is making hats and other things. So there are, you see, virtually all walks of life. You see bamboo, and bamboo products are available. Next one, please. So these are the, I'm sorry, something is missing, but anyway, these are the bamboo is the structural applications, bamboo-based housing system, high-end construction, community building, number of uses it can be put. And in fact, seeing the potential of bamboo, the National Building Code of India includes a separate part 6 on bamboo in structural design, where they discuss the principles of housing and various parts in using bamboo. The daily schedule of rate, which the central PWD uses, have recently included several materials made out of bamboo in their schedule of rates. They are bamboo mat board, bamboo mat veneer composite, bamboo mat corrugated sheet, also bamboo use. In fact, in 2001 and 2002, bamboo mat board, which was developed at IPRITI with the support from IDRC Canada, was found to be an exemplary material at World Expo 2001, which was held in Hanover. And there you see some photograph. There is a house in the right hand panel. There is a photo of house made in Badrinath, where it is claimed that house stays 10 degrees warmer during the snowfalls. There is Right hand bottom corner is a house designed by Neelam in at Ipiti. There is a roof designed from bamboo mat corrugated sheet in Haridwar railway station, and on the left corner you see the bamboo board as flooring. The problem is bamboo can be used in several ways, but not many architects and engineers are using bamboo, and that is primarily because of the lack of proper knowledge about bamboo and its composition. In their architectural course and engineering courses, there is hardly any time which is spent to tell them that bamboo is a structural engineering material. Now, these are some of the, one more click. These are some of the non-structural applications of bamboo. You see on the top, bamboo has energy in the form of charcoal. Then you have activated carbon. Then you have amorphous bamboo activated carbon powder, which is used in cosmetic products. And then you have the bamboo briquettes, which can be used as fuel. In the center, you see bamboo shoot, which is a part of traditional cuisine in many parts of India as well as in the other parts of the world. Then in the bamboo, internodal portion can be used to cook food. In fact, in Nagaland, bamboo rice, the bamboo internodal portion is filled with rice and it is thrown into fire. And the secretion from this bamboo adds to the taste of the food. Then you have the round bamboo used as furniture. Bottom, you have the bamboo laminate being used as furniture. These furnitures were designed by at the National Institute of Design. Then recently, artisan in Tripura has made bamboo water bottles and also bamboo tiffin carrier, food carrier. So there are a number of uses which are there, and not to mention about the bamboo incense sticks, which is one of the major uses in India of bamboo. Next one, please. Now, this in this way we can say bamboo can address major national concerns of ecological security, substitution, efficient sequestration, land reclamation, alternative materials to non-biodegradable and high bamboo can add to the sustainable food security of bamboo-based agroforestry system, maintenance of soil of adjoining agricultural land, not to mention bamboo shoots. It can also address livelihood security through generation of employment in planting, primary processing, handicrafts, and other market-driven bamboo products. So, three major concerns, national concerns. Bamboo is the right material to address those concerns. That is the ecological security, the food security, and the livelihood security. And on top of that, bamboo and bamboo products can contribute in achievement of national achievement of Sustainable Development Goals 1, 7, 11, 12, and 15, that is related to no poverty, clean energy, sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption and production, and also life on land. So, bamboo is truly a wonderful material. Next one, please. Now, these are some of the bamboo sector development initiatives which have taken place in the country. In fact, the rediscovery of bamboo was started way back in 1998 when Suresh Prabhu was the Minister of Forest and Environment in Government of India. He organized the international workshop on bamboo at Delhi with the support of UNDP and UNIDO. That was the beginning of development initiatives on bamboo, and which led to the establishment of two national missions. That is the National Mission on Bamboo Applications, which worked from 2006 to 2016-17, and National Bamboo Mission, which worked from 2005 to 2017. In fact, since 2011, the Forest Survey of India, as a part of final assessment of forest resources, has started including a separate chapter on bamboo resources, bamboo forest resources in the country, where they are they are publishing the extent of bamboo forest. Fortunately, the area under bamboo is increasing from about 13 million hectares in 2011 to now it is about 16 million hectares. This area is an increase, which is a good sign of the work which is being taken place. And in addition to area, the FSI reports also publish the growing stock in terms of estimated numbers of green, dried, and decayed cows. In fact, considering the potential of bamboo in private sector, the Government of India amended the Indian Forest Act in 2017, whereby bamboo is no more a tree or timber when found in private land. This is supposed to give a big boost to bamboo plantations in the country, although its impact is to be seen, but it is presumed that people who are planting bamboo will now have no problem in cutting and transporting bamboo to different parts of the country. The resource development, as I said, the two missions worked. The National Mission on Bamboo Applications worked from 2005 to 2016. Now it has been subsumed in Nectar, which is placed in Guwahati, Shillong. Then another mission, that is the National Mission, National Bamboo Mission, is functioning in the Ministry of Agriculture. It worked as a central sector scheme from 2005 to 2017, and now restructured bamboo mission has started functioning from 2018. Under the National Mission of Bamboo Applications, a lot of protocols for bamboo technologies, bamboo adoption, and commercialization of technologies were done, and a number of industries were also supported under the NMBA. Unfortunately, when I started analyzing the status of those industries, it is found that because of some or other reasons, most of those industries have now closed, and some of them are telling the non-availability of resource, some are telling non-availability of working capital and things like that. Now, these are the things which need to be looked into if we have to continue, we have to contribute to growth of bamboo sector in the country. The National Bamboo Mission in the earlier avatar started large number of plantations, and in fact almost about 3.28 lakh hectares of bamboo plantations, including the restocking of bamboo forests, was covered under the earlier avatar of National Bamboo Mission. In addition to 1.25 lakh hectares have been covered in private areas in bamboo plantations. And most of these areas will now be ready for harvest because it is now about 6 to 7 years old. Unfortunately, there is no information is available about which species have been planted where. Because of that, it is very difficult to match the industrial requirement and the bamboo availability in various parts of the world, various parts of the country. Keeping that in mind, the restructured bamboo mission, which was launched in 2018, envisages to promote holistic growth of bamboo sector, adopting an area-based, regionally differentiated strategy with a overall allocation of about 1,300 crores in 5 years. And under NBN, a lot of efforts have been made not only to raise plantations but also to support establishment of industries producing charcoal, activated carbon, furniture, bamboo mat, corrugated sheets, shoots, insects, etc. Really, the Minister of Agriculture launched 32 bamboo clusters in the country. They are in the several states, including 6 in Maharashtra, 4, 5 in northeastern states, 3 in Odisha, like 22 bamboo clusters. Unfortunately, there is no total understanding about these clusters as to what is the purpose of these clusters, how they will be funded, how those growth will be monitored, and which industries they will cater to. This is the area which is yet to be revealed by the government sector. But I'm hopeful that the development of bamboo cluster will go a long way in addition to the common facility center which have earlier been established under the various schemes by the government. In addition, the Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises is also planning to plant bamboo sectors in the country. Next one, please. This is just to say the international trade of bamboo. Bamboo although we have large number of products which are manufactured in the country and used, but all the same, there is a lot of material bamboo is products are being imported into the country from various parts. Unfortunately, the exports from the country are almost static as almost a very negligible amount, but the imports are increasing. And unfortunately, the most of the import is meant for sticks, and country has almost around 16 million hectares under bamboo. It is not understood as to why still we need to import sticks for agarbatti making, which we are using, which we use at least one stick daily in all our houses. Now, such in these sticks are being imported. Recently, the government of India has taken note of that, and with a view to promote Indian industries to produce more and more agarbatti sticks, the customs duty on import on agarbatti sticks have been increased. And using more.
There's a little
Next
disturbance
slide.
in the audio, sir.
Are you here? Are you able to hear now?
Yeah,
Yes,
now
yes.
we can hear.
Ratna, you can ask people to unmute. Sorry, mute.
Other
So
people
is
to
that
mute. Yeah.
in fact, are you not?
Yes, sir. We are able to hear you, sir.
Okay, so the bamboo is a plant where all parts of bamboo culm can be utilized, and any industrial development of bamboo has to focus on to this aspect so that in the economy, one industry can be utilized. Various parts of the bamboo culm can be used for various for manufacturing. Be waste if a circular used in setting up bamboo industries in various parts of the country. Next one, please. Now, this is my suggestions, my thoughts on how the bamboo development can be taken forward in the country. And I am proposing that there should be a dedicated statutory body called Bamboo Development Board or some such thing for strategic planning and integrated effort throughout the country. Even all types of efforts should be under this Bamboo Development Board, which should be a legal body. Then there should be a detailed species-wise survey of bamboo resources in forest and private land, because whatever survey is now being done is only talks in terms of area and in terms of number of culms. But for various bamboo applications, it is very important that which species are available, because certain bamboo products can be made out of certain species, whereas there are a number of products like bamboo charcoal, activated carbon can use any species, but certain high-end products like bamboo laminates and all are species specific. So survey of species-wise survey is very important. Then, as I said that bamboo development requires the concept of circular economy. So identification of most suitable industry-specific processing zones is necessary for promoting circular economy in bamboo utilization. This is around the available bamboo resources in the country or the areas can be raised. Then refining bamboo management principles to work bamboo forest to produce appropriate raw materials for different end products. Currently, the forest bamboo management is geared only towards meeting the requirement of paper mill, which has gone down. This is no longer, so we should be able to produce a number of other products from bamboo for which the management prescriptions need to be changed. Then, as I said earlier, there are a number of common facility centers have been established already, and number of industries were earlier also supported. There is a need to have a diagnostic study of operational status of CFCs and industries so that we do not enter into the same pitfalls once again while we promote the sector. Then there has to be awareness program for engineers and architects, because I see housing as a big sector of utilizing bamboo, both in round and split form, as well as the use of bamboo composite. So there should be awareness program for engineers and architects and other users like furniture, transport, to know the potential uses of bamboo. And lastly, but not the least, there is a need for developing standards and certifications that can improve the branding of the various products and also enhance as well as the growth in the domestic market. Next one, please. Thank you for a very patient hearing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bansalji, for bringing that into a very my enterprising keynote, which has excellent ideas also that the community and everyone to adopt in future, and very insightful views about the bamboo in our culture. Also, your views about the bamboo users, and then how community could be benefited, development of the bamboo clusters, and how to promote the circular economy by using bamboo, and suggestion on how the bamboo development to get promoted through in a very legal way, and users of the common facility centers, which are defunct, many of them are defunct right now, are all very important and very helpful. And thank you for these valuable suggestions. And also the last screen is very insightful kind of a view. Thanks a lot, sir. Now
Thank you. Just I want to, with your permission, I will share one piece of information. I am working on a NCCF working paper on unlocking the potentials of bamboo. That is a sort of national status paper on bamboo sector, and I think it should be out in about a month's time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I think that's
thank
great.
you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Now I would be requesting Sri K.S. Anandji, Executive Director, Bamboo Society of India, for a discussion on BSI and its activities. Anandji served in the forestry sector over decades, and he had a very rich experience on forestry. He's retired as DCF and now with Bamboo Society of India. Over to Sir for an address about Bamboo Society of India. Sir.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to everybody. Audible? Audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good morning to all bamboo friends, bamboo lovers, bamboo warriors. I'm K.S. Anand. Presently, after my retirement from 2012, I am the Executive Director of Bamboo Society of India. I will give a small background of Bamboo Society of India. We remember today our great veteran forest officer by name N.S. Adkoli. Hello. N.S. Adkoli.
Yes, sir.
Audible?
Yes, sir.
N.S. Adkoli is the branch. This Bamboo Society of India is his brainchild. He is a very dynamic, dedicated, and an honest officer of Karnataka Forest Department. And this Bamboo Society of India was established in 1989, and it is almost 31 years old. This institution, we have, to begin with, he started with 7 forest officers. I think I should name them: Mr. N.S. Adkoli, late N.S. Adkoli, late S.K. Varadaraj, late C.H. Rajgopal Shetty, late Shri B.K.C. Rajan, and the present, and 3 others who are still surviving: Mr. Shri K.A. Boja Shetty, the ex-PCC of Tamil Nadu; Mr. A. Krishnaswamy, Secretary of Forest and Agriculture also of Karnataka; Mr. S.G. Neginhal. So 7 forest officers of Karnataka, they founded this Bamboo Society of India to begin with. Now, almost 31 years old. Now we have got 15 directors, including the chairman. Chairman is, as you know, Mr. Sundar Naik, and I am the executive director, and P. Sadashiva is the secretary. We have got 12 executive committee members. I think I feel I should name them. Mr. Sunil Joshi is the Vice Chairman, the Committee for Policy Interpretation and Advocacy and Development of State Bamboo Chapters. Mr. Sunil Joshi is also the Chairman of Maharashtra Chapter. Second member is Mr. Sanjeev Shashikant Karpe. He is the Vice Chairman for Committee for Media and Public Relations. Third is Mr. C.S. Shushant. He is the Vice Chairman, Committee for Institutional Cooperation and Training, National and International. Mr. K.P. Fourth man is Mr. K.P. Murthy, Vice Chairman, Committee for Students Drive, Entrepreneurship, Opportunity and Mentoring. And we have Mr. R.K. Mehra, who is the Chairman of Andhra Chapter, Architect Neelam Manjunath, who is the Chairman of Karnataka Chapter, Dr. T.N. Manohara, Scientist in IWST, Dr. N. Bharati, MD of our CGBM Bromore Biotech, and he is our #1 ambassador of Bamboo Society of India. And Mr. Neelkant Dhyanesh Ahar, who is a legal expert, legal advisor to BSc, Mr. Parameshwar Krishna Iyer, industrialist, Mr. Dr. B.L. Chidananda from Agriculture University, and Mr. K.M. Shigali, retired forest officer from Karnataka. So these are the working for the Governing Council of Bamboo Society of India. Though it is the main achievement of Bamboo Society of India is one, we have this is started in Karnataka, and we have got our office in Bangalore, that is Malleshwaram 18th Cross, housed in Vanavikas building of Forest Department. It is now floored in second floor of Vanavikas building. Formerly it was in the ground floor. We, with the active suggestion of our members, we have got around 1,376 members. 1,376 members from various parts of India, various states of India, and overseas also. And we have developed chapters, because apart from head office at BSI Bangalore, we started chapters to begin with in Andhra. Mr. R.K. Mehta took the pains to start this chapter, and afterwards Maharashtra, Mr. Sunil Joshi, architect. He is the key man who started this Maharashtra chapter, and moreover, one of the important tasks he has done is he has made our Honorable Central Transport Minister, Mr. Nitin Gadkari, as the member of Maharashtra Bamboo Society chapter. It's a great advantage, and with this, I think, involvement, not only himself, and he has influenced the Prime Minister also, and the Bamboo Mission. Bamboo Mission restarted almost in 2018. So we are seeing a lot of
Yes, sir, please go on.
Hello.
Yeah, please go on, sir.
Now the second Bamboo Mission now just started has come up very well, and it is supporting all the states with the finance. Finance is important, this one. So the important steps are being taken by the Forest Department and various departments in the respective states. BSI, the chapters which are working in Maharashtra and Andhra and Karnataka, they are doing extremely well. Apart from recently, we have formed BSI chapter in Kerala also. Dr. Shyam Vishwanath, who is the director of KFRI, is taking care of it. And all these 4 chapters are acting very actively. And we have got 3 other chapters in Delhi, Tripura, and Madhya Pradesh. Of course, they are not able to function to the satisfaction of BSI. I think all the states, they should have this BSI. Now our job is to extend whatever the central government is wishing to take up. In the sense, bamboo, everybody knows the importance of bamboo. The thing is that all the administrators should be convinced of the importance of bamboo and they should practice it. And the achievement of Bamboo Society of India in drawing the attention of politicians and the scientists is by arranging a International Bamboo Conference and Bamboo Expo in Bangalore in 2014. And in that meet, we had around more than 1,000 delegates, and about 15 countries were also represented. And we had this conference for nearly 3 days, and there were the pros and cons, the studies, and the recommendations finally from the team are also collected, and this is submitted to the DG ICFRE Delhi, and it is taking shape at all the states. Now, because of this, I think a lot of finance support is also there from the central government. Now, one of the important recommendation made by the BSI that is to see that the central government and state governments start using the bamboo product. Now, from the first establishment of bamboo mission, as Dr. Bansal told, a lot of plantations have been raised either in agriculture land or in forest area. But in forest area, because of the Wildlife Act from 1972, the man-animal conflict, our wildlife, elephants themselves are in shortage of their fodder, and the department is not able to supply the required quantity of bamboo. So it has been thought to raise the bamboo in agricultural lands. We have suggested the DGICFRE to select these 10 bamboos which are most utilizable and plant and see that it is planted in suitable areas. And I will be happy to go through some of the recommendations. In brief, I will be telling about recommendations as a reminder. We have recommended in vitro shoot induction and ex situ root induction for clonal micropropagation in certain bamboo species, because it will be our mistake. India has got the highest area under bamboo, but China has overtaken India. So why India cannot? Of course, that our top politicians, they have understood the importance of bamboo, and everybody should understand the importance of bamboo, and we should popularize bamboo more and more, and everybody should become bamboo warriors, bamboo ambassadors. So one of the second recommendation is departments and extension agencies have to educate the farmers on the selection of suitable bamboo species. Third is sufficiently grown up bamboo seedlings should be distributed to farmers rather than small seedlings for better survival and establishment. And we have also recommended bamboo setup may be established in different eco-climate zones in the country for scientific studies as well as and also to facilitate propagation of different species in a better way. Forest Genetic Research Management IFGTV Coimbatore notification. Specialized low-cost construction using bamboo reinforcements, structural insulated panels, and bamboo mat molded skin doors, especially for high-altitude military shelters, schools, community buildings, earthquake, resistant housing, etc. So we have recommended nearly 30 points in that meet, which have been emerged in that international meet. The main objectives of Bamboo Society of
Kindly unmute yourself, sir.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah, please continue.
Please,
Hello. Hello.
please continue, sir.
Okay. The main objectives of Bamboo Society of India is the same. The scientific study of all types of bamboos on all kinds of lands and promote, encourage, and assist development of bamboos in all aspects, including growing, research, education, marketing, and trade of bamboo products. Encourage and sponsor research related to bamboo products, its management, utilization, and take up pilot projects based on the results of such research projects. Seek and give assistance and cooperation on research and development of bamboo with all education and scientific institutions. Organize conferences, sponsors seminars, workshops, meetings, group discussions on all subjects pertaining to development of bamboos. Acquire books, manuscripts, brochures, pamphlets, charts, journals, newsletters, scientific papers, films, computers, and such modern media for purpose of the same on all aspects of bamboo. Organize training and extension programs in planning, execution, harvesting, utilization of bamboo and their products to serve as consultants to various national and international organizations of bamboo development. So these are the objectives. Now, actually in India, it is taking shape. Popularization of bamboo is taking shape. What we have to do is now the farmers will be growing. Now, what we see in Karnataka since last 2 years, lot of demand for bamboo seedlings. We do not have that much seedlings also required. That we have to grow, and finally the industries have to come up. Industries have to come. I think our ambassadors, the members of Bamboo Society of India, they are trying their best. I congratulate all of them. Actually, we have got bamboo ambassadors all over India and abroad also. Architect Neelam Manjunath, Mr. Sunil Joshi, Dr. Bharati, Mr. Sanjeev Karpe, all our staunch bamboo ambassadors. And we are happy with the improvement in the country. And we hope bamboo will take its place in its what it is required by BSI, and everybody will be happy also. Now, the one more thing, what everybody knows now, the COVID effect, the corona effect, the importance of bamboo, everybody knows it. I think we have to act. So that is all my message. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, sir. Thanks a lot for detailing the objectives and activities of Bamboo Society of India. It's a national body, and also about the details about the government governing council and also the objectives. So we will be now coming to our next speaker, Dr. Architect Ganesh Babu, Director of the Academy of Architecture and Design, for introducing the concept of the most exciting program masterclass series on bamboo. Sir, principal by professional ethics, Professor K.N. Ganesh Babu is backed by a sound exposure to the field of architecture with an excellent combination of practice and academics. Graduating with distinction in his master's in landscape architecture, he has worked in some of the leading institutions in Bangalore. Currently, he is the director of architecture wing of Aditya Foundation. Aditya Academy is the co-host of this Cultural Fest program. Over to you, sir. Please.
Thank you, madam. Respected dignitaries and all participants, warm greetings on this World Bamboo Day. Aditya Academy of Architecture and Design, in collaboration a series of 5 webinars and 2 hands-on sessions at regular intervals starting from tomorrow, 19th September, and spread over a period of the next 6 months. We at AAAD and CGBMT are very specific on the objective of this masterclass on bamboo. Panchabhuta in Sanskrit means 5 great elements. Is a group of 5 basic elements which, according to mythology, is the basis of all cosmic creation. Similarly, for an academician, the number 5 is very sensitive, and even UGC recognizes any faculty development program organized over 5 sessions as a rated session. Across these 5 sessions, we will be covering the various aspects of bamboo, like introduction to bamboo as a material, various species and its applications, bamboo selection, grading, treatment and processing, bamboo joints, furniture and handicrafts, bamboo structures, bamboo as a building material. All these virtual sessions culminating as an effective hands-on workshop on 2 parts of 3 to 5 days each. Outcome of the program. Now, the outcome of the program is very much in line with the words expressed today by our chief guest, Yellappa Reddy sir, Jason sir, Arun Bansale sir, and Anand sir. We have enumerated the outcomes also. Having a thorough knowledge on a product is essential for its application. Knowing about the process through which bamboo is taken is important to handle the material from its application point of view. This would be more than a certificate course, ideally programmed for students, startup entrepreneurs, environmentalists, and people of all age who are passionate about ecology and saving our Mother Earth. I'm also glad to share with you all that we have organized several education sessions earlier, and our most recent hands-on session was sponsored by Bamboo Society of India, organized by CGBMT, hosted by AAAD. With a short video, I would like to thank all of you for encouraging us and expressing and showing your continuous support in participating in these events. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for an excellent address and for encouraging the young minds on right path and structural design and principles. Thank you so much. And also for the details about the masterclass series, which is how it is going to be different from any certificate programs. And we are now looking for those kind of the educational sessions with you and with Neelam madams. So with this, the inaugural session is coming to an end, and the program is now will be switching over to the World Bamboo Organization channel for the coming session, next session. Now the program is continuing till tomorrow. So now I'm handing over this to Ms. Shruti for the next session, and I have the privilege and then very thankful for the organizers to give me this opportunity to host the inaugural session, and kindly not to go. Stay tuned as the next session is just going to be starting in a few minutes. Thanks a lot, ma'am. Thanks a lot to everyone in the organizing committee. And thank you so much.
Thank you, Ratna. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, everybody. Yeah, sir, please stay
Yeah,
tuned. Sir, we are just joining in at one moment. That other session is already started. We just switch.
I think the session is just continuing from here. Thanks a lot.
From here, it will be continuing, sir.
Yeah.
So you will be just getting the next session now. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
I'll have to leave the meeting and I have to join the other meeting, from there. So I will see you there on WBO channel. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.